Hello and welcome to the Lawrence Family Kitchen. This is Jennifer with Spirit of Health, and today I'm going to be talking about making your own homemade mayonnaise. So there's a few reasons why I want to encourage you to make your own homemade mayonnaise. Is one, it's actually fairly easy. With a few ingredients and a food processor, you can have homemade mayonnaise in minutes. Also, the other reason I encourage you to make your own mayonnaise is because the commercial mayonnaise is full of ingredients that can be harmful to you and your children, and I highly encourage you to read your labels. But predominantly most mayonnaises are made with canola oil, soybean oil, and those are usually genetically modified and just very unstable oils. And then also, if the mayonnaise a lot of times is used in commercial dips and different things, you're going to also find MSG and just additives and preservatives that you don't want to be consuming. So with making your own homemade mayonnaise, first of all, you know everything that's in your mayonnaise, and then you can use this as a base to make some of your favorite salad dressings or your favorite dips for whatever purpose that your family enjoys them for. So let's go ahead and get started. This recipe is actually from the Nourishing Traditions book. There's also a variation of it in the Internal Bliss cookbook that's used with the GAPS recipes. You can also probably find very nuances on the internet, but I think they're all pretty much the same. So let's go ahead and get started. I have 2 eggs here. One I'm going to put the whole egg, and the second egg I'm just going to put the yolk in. So I've got my S-blade attachment on the food processor, and I'm just going to go ahead and put my whole egg in here. And this time I'm just going to separate out the whites from the yolk. Just add the additional yolk. Then I have, this is an optional ingredient. You don't have to use this. A lot of the recipes, the one in Nourishing Traditions and the Internal Bliss cookbook, use a form of Dijon mustard. And you can usually find those pretty clean in the supermarkets. You really just want to look for just basic mustard. It usually contains some type of apple cider vinegar, sea salt. This one actually contains a little bit of horseradish as well, just because we like the little extra kick to it. But you don't need to do that. In fact, you can completely skip this and you won't miss out on that if you prefer that. But if you do, here is 1 teaspoon of a little bit of mustard, and that just kind of gives your mayonnaise a little bit more of a kick to it. And then you're going to use some good sea salt, and I have here some Himalayan pink salt, and I'm going to use about 1/4 teaspoon, and you might want to use less, you might want to use more, and you can always add more if you want at the end. You can never take it out though. So start small and work your way up. Then we have here lemon juice, and this is just fresh squeezed lemon juice, and it's anywhere from 1 to 2 tablespoons. I have about 1.5 tablespoons. So the nice thing about this is you don't have to be absolutely perfect with your measurements. If you had 2 tablespoons of lemon juice, that'd be fine. Even 1 would have been fine. Okay, so then this is another optional ingredient. This is whey, and whey is basically the liquid that's dripped from either yogurt or kefir, and this is a tablespoon. And this is optional, you don't need to use this, but what I like about using whey in mayonnaise is that it will make your mayonnaise last much longer than if you didn't use it. If you use whey, your mayonnaise will last you months. If you don't use whey, I wouldn't recommend consuming your mayonnaise within 1 to 2 weeks. So we're going to go ahead and add that in there. Okay, so we've got all of the ingredients except the final ingredient, which is olive oil. You could really find this in the grocery stores pretty easily. What I recommend is always looking for an organic and virgin, extra virgin olive oil, and you can usually find that pretty easily at the grocery store. So right now what we're going to do is first blend our ingredients that we have here. And now I'm going to add in my olive oil. So I'm going to take out this top portion of the food processor, just set that on the side. And what we're going to do is I'm going to start this on the continual button here and let it run. And as it's running, I'm going to start to pour this in. And I'm not going to pour it in just all at one time. I'm going to just kind of slowly drip it in. And as it goes, it's just going to start to blend and it's going to start to thicken up the consistency. What I'm looking for is it just to start to really get into kind of a, almost like a pudding-like texture, maybe a little slightly runnier than a pudding, but you'll even hear the gears of the food processor start to wind up a little bit, and you'll know that you're getting into that thickness. Now, it won't be as thick as a mayonnaise that you're used to at the stores, because for one, we don't have a lot of the stabilizers, and the oils that we're using are going to be fresh, and they're not going to have that store consistency. But if you do refrigerate this over time, especially if you've used the whey, it is going to thicken up pretty nicely. So let's go ahead and just do that now. Okay. So what I'm going to do now is just take out my S blade. And that's it. Voila, we have our mayonnaise. So I like to take a nice clean mason jar, and I'll just add my mayonnaise mixture to the mason jar. And I'm not sure if you can see this from the camera, but this is nice, pretty nice thick consistency. I'll get the rest out of here in a minute, but so that's it. We've got our mayonnaise, and what I would do now is I'm going to put my lid on it, and I'm going to leave it out for at least 7 hours, or just overnight is fine. And that allows the whey to just kind of get into there and ferment a little bit and populate your mayonnaise, so that you've got some really good beneficial bacteria in your mayonnaise. And once it's been out for 7 to 8 hours, you're just going to refrigerate it, and from there you can use this in dips, you can use this in your salad dressings. My favorite thing that I'm into lately is just making a basic dip for our fresh tomatoes that are coming out of our garden. And so I'll take a 1-to-1 ratio of mayonnaise to either kefir cheese or sour cream. Kefir cheese is basically when you drip kefir or yogurt, either one, and you kind of have that leftover thick cheesy-like consistency of a cream cheese-like consistency. You'll take a 1-to-1 ratio of mayonnaise to that, add your fresh herbs to it, parsley, dill, and then add a little fresh garlic, a little fresh lemon juice, and then season it to taste with some sea salt and pepper, and you've got an excellent dip for your vegetables. So I hope that you have fun making some mayonnaise and experimenting with some homemade salad dressings that your children will love and enjoy putting on their salads and their favorite vegetables. So from our kitchen to yours, this is Jennifer. Thank you so much for watching, and God bless.